So this week we've got Americatown #1. That's out of Boom Studios with writers Bradford Winters, Larry Cohen, art by Daniel Irizarry, and like I said, publisher Boom Studios. First off, let's just start with the cover because the cover was Mike Choi, who I know you know a decent amount of and have seen
Yeah,
a lot of his work.
I mean, right off the bat, well, he's written on paper by way of pictures. FF, Superior Spider-Man, X-Force, Witchblade. The guy's been around for a long time, a lot of credits. So I think when you factor that in, it makes you feel like this book's got some buy-in behind it. It's got some muscle behind it. I noticed at two stores that I went to that there were a lot of issues of this book, which tells you that prior to final order cutoff, people were saying, yes, let's get it. I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I didn't like it. I mean, what you basically get is people are being trafficked, and when they get to a particular place, the people that have made it so far are having to use burner phones, which is a term I use from Breaking Bad, to call people to transfer money by way of a Bitcoin type service, so that the people that are facilitating this, and it's all kind of shady and black market, are satisfied. But it just didn't work for me, and I hate picking on stuff like this, but I did not care for the art, and it's by a guy named Daniel Jesus
Irizarry is what I said.
Irizarry. It is. It just didn't work for me. I'm sorry. It just didn't. You any thoughts
Well,
on
don't,
this?
don't apologize if it
I,
doesn't
I
work for you. It doesn't work for you.
I like giving good feedback. I'm sorry. I give terrible reviews at work. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you brought up the TV type stuff because these two writers come from our screenwriter backgrounds.
Right? Yeah.
And it's supposed to be an 8-issue miniseries. So I don't know if it's supposed to play off as if it were like one season of a show. You know what I mean? If they leave that much out and have it sort of build up, but there wasn't enough. When they get to the one spot, like why is it's such a big deal that they finally got here, and are things as bad here as they are everywhere? And I
Right.
didn't quite get any sense of that at all.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. When you think about TV today, a lot of what people are expecting is the binge watching aspect of it by way of Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu. And I think that if you got a trade of this and you knew what it was about and you got to read it, you'd be okay with not knowing in the first 30 pages what was happening because you had 120 or 200 behind it, kind of thing. So again,
Right.
I hate to shove these guys into their TV writers, but I'm trying to also forgive what I couldn't accept in one issue that's going to stand alone and have to wait 30 days to again get a better idea of what's happening.
Well, and it has a 6.7 rating on Comic Book Roundup with 6 reviews. So there are people out there that didn't get it, just like us.
Yeah, that's like a
And
C plus, C minus, D plus. I
yeah,
don't know.
and that's not. And like we always say, it's not to say it's complete trash. The
No,
book's
no, no.
obviously for somebody.
Yeah,
And like we talked about with Nathan Edmondson, that I think even he said, I think that's that first issue of the creators have to grab you. They have to give you a reason to keep buying the book. That's what they have. And if it didn't work for us, it didn't work for us. And we're both in agreement that it did not work.
yeah. Question. So, in a weird twist of fate, I got the Comixology version, and you got the book version, right?
Correct.
Did I spy that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so I have to tell you, the Comixology version, it's hard for me to explain how it felt like the pages were literally scans of a book that was printed. It didn't feel like your typical version of a Comixology read where it was real crisp. I'll even show you one of these days what it looked like. It didn't look, the resolution was just a little off too. I'm sorry to pick on the art again. Sorry, everybody. It was a weird, it was
That's weird.
just a weird clunky experience all the way around.
And
So.
it did the paper book did have that. And I don't know if Boom does this on all their books, but they use like a different sort of paper that just feels much better. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but kudos to Boom for doing that.
Yeah, well, but it didn't
It has
work.
like an
And
old timey feel to it. I think we've talked about it before of stuff that Boom does like that in
yeah,
printed type of books. But yeah, that didn't help catch me understanding the story.
right. So again, people out there probably are into this, just not for me.